Yeah, it's good. So we want to hear your stories, what you got up to over the weekend, please. 0345 30 30 961. Text Solent to 81333 with your stories. Email Julian Clegg at bbc.co.uk, and we'll have more as the show goes on. Keep your stories coming. Thank you. Now, I'm joined in the studio now by a man from Southampton getting ready to take on an endurance test like no other, sailing 40,000 nautical miles on the high seas. John Vearncombe is leaving his job for a year to fulfil his lifelong dream of sailing around the world, and he's going to raise some money for charity in the process. And John is with me in the studio right now. John, good to see you.
Good morning, Julian.
Good morning. And this is the Clipper race.
That's right.
By all accounts, all the people I've met who do this, who just do stages of it, say it's life-changing.
Yes.
So are you geared up and prepared for this?
I'm not really sure, to be quite honest.
Yeah?
It seemed like a good idea about a year ago to do the whole thing. As it gets closer, it gets a little bit more nerve-wracking. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a fantastic journey. Endurance, it probably will be. No idea what to expect. That's kind of the challenge, actually, for me. Going into the ocean, not quite sure what's nature going to throw at you. You never know. And we'll find out, and I'll find out how I survive.
Now, you said a year ago, was this your idea lying in the bath, or a challenge from someone down the pub, or a bit of both? What happened?
So this was back in the 1990s when these races started. I was learning to sail and thought, wow, what a wonderful thing to do, to go and sail as an amateur in a race around the world. Wouldn't it be fantastic? As a young man, recently married and so on, it was just never going to happen. Until fairly recently, we've changed our life, and a friend of mine's girlfriend was doing a leg, and when I found that out, I then talked to Charlotte and said, wow, actually, I've got the lifestyle now that we can actually do this. And then talking to my wife, eventually she said, yeah, well, if you want to do the whole thing, just do the whole thing, because in life you normally regret what you don't do, not what you do.
You're right.
So therefore, just go and do it.
And a lot of people listening who are perhaps tied down to the office job, the day job, will be slightly jealous of you because this isn't like, I'm taking a 3-month career break. This is a whole year for you.
This is a whole year.
Extraordinary. How much does it cost to do this?
So the full round the world is £50,000.
Gosh, so that's
plus your stopover costs. So that £50,000 is just to get your berth on the boat for all 8 legs.
Right, and do you pay that in advance?
Yes, that's all paid up.
So that's all paid up. So anything you do from now on is fundraising, presumably?
Yes, the only thing now is fundraising. So the fundraising is all going through Just Giving. So that money goes straight to the charity. Right. I don't want to see any of it personally, thank you very much. It's all just going straight to the charity.
And I asked that because people sometimes say to me off air, these people come on and they're asking for money to help them go around the world. You've done that, you paid up, that was your thing.
It's all done.
That's a lot of money. You have paid, that's a sort of half the cost of a flat or a quarter of the cost of a flat. Yep. It's like a very expensive car.
That was part of my emotional challenge, thinking, can I really afford to spend that much money on, I would say having fun, but I'm not sure fun's quite the right word, but essentially for me to do something that I wanted to do.
Yes. Because it is a bit masochistic. I mean, it's, people who've done it said to me, it's a cross between Survival and Big Brother, where you're stuck with people you might not know, in a confined space.
And you've got to cope with them.
Yeah, exactly.
For what I've been told, that's the biggest challenge, actually.
Yes.
Sort of 20 people living on a 70-foot boat. It's not a lot of space. And yes, you've got to get on with all of them because there isn't space for you not to get on.
No.
So that
do you know anybody that you're going to be on the boat with?
I've met them now. I've met most of them now, not all of them yet.
And what was that like?
It's fine, actually. They seem to be a really good bunch. Part of my theory was you've got to be slightly mad to be going down in the first place. So there should be a common thread there that hopefully binds us all together. Right.
Does anybody do this who can't sail?
Yes. So about a third of the people who sign up to the Clipper race haven't actually sailed before they start. So we all have to go through the same 4 weeks of training. So we've all got that same basic knowledge. A lot of us have got more knowledge than that before we start, but a lot of people, even some of the people going all the way around the world, have never sailed before they sign up, which I think is quite extraordinary.
Now, the other thing is, rather like people who climb mountains who I interview, who say you can never really tell whether you're going to get altitude sickness, and it has nothing to do with how healthy you are. Seasickness, again, is a little bit random with some people. How do you...
Most people will get seasick.
Yes, so let's just talk about that this morning. How do you deal with that? And, where are you in the seasickness scale?
I do get seasick on occasions.
Right.
I'm never quite sure what triggers it.
Right.
Sometimes it lasts just a few hours, sometimes it lasts a couple of days, but you get over it.
Yeah.
You're fairly incapacitated while you're feeling seasick, because it really affects your mind and your whole mental attitude. You've got to battle through it and do what you can, and eventually your mind works out the fact that eyes and ears can be ignored. They don't have to work in sync, and essentially then you get over it.
Do you get hints and tips, like, watch the horizon, which is the old wives' tale, but is that true? I don't know.
It is true, because it helps to do things. The first time actually I was really seasick was at night, so you couldn't see the horizon,
Good
so
point.
it didn't work.
That's a really good point. So, and then the other thing, very importantly, is safety, and
Yes,
I'm sure
absolutely.
that's part of the training, and there's been a lot of publicity about that. So how does that... Is that going to dominate you and the rest of the crew's lives?
It does. Safety is paramount on board. We're amateur crews, so we have to take that so seriously. We always want to be clipped on. We always wear life jackets on deck, so that's a given. It's a must. The life jackets have what's called an AIS in them, so should you fall overboard, you've got a beacon on your life jacket, which then can transmit back to the boat to say, this is where I am, so we can go back and find you. But the biggest thing is the lifelines, that on any kind of sea state, any time when it's rough, any time when it's dark, you're clipped on, and you're clipped on the whole time. So that the idea is you can't fall off the boat. Because while we practice man overboard drill until we can virtually do it in our sleep, the best way of being safe is don't fall off in the first place.
Right.
So that's what's drilled in the whole time.
Bear that in mind then.
Yeah. And we have a safety committee on board the boat as well. I'm part of that safety committee to make sure that everybody is following the safe practices and so on to keep us safe, because we all want to come home safely.
John, a couple more questions. When do you go?
So the race starts on the 20th of August from Liverpool.
Right.
I'm on the Liverpool boat, which is the pink boat. It's great.
Thank you.
We've kind of nicknamed it the Pink Panther, but so it's the Liverpool boat, sponsored by Liverpool 2018. But we depart from Gosport, because the fleet's in Gosport at the moment. We leave from Gosport this Wednesday, late morning. So this should be a big spectacle. It should be all 12 of the Clipper fleets going out together in formation. If the winds are the right, which they will be, we'll have the branded spinnakers up. So it should be a fantastic spectacle as we go out of Gosport and up to Solent.
And what time of day will that be for people who want to come and watch
We think
you?
we're going to be leaving about 10:30, 11 o'clock from the marina. So 11 o'clock-ish. If you're at the entrance to Portsmouth Harbour, you should see us going out then.
Right. And then before I let you go, so we can almost rerun this to you in a year's time, tell me something that you're looking forward to and something that you're worried about. Let's do the worried about first, because of course it might turn out in a year that's absolute breeze. So what's the thing that's concerning you most about travelling around the world for a year on a boat with people you don't know?
What's worrying me most actually is the seasickness.
Okay.
Because if I feel seasick, then I'm going to feel horrible and it's not going to be good.
Right.
If I'm not feeling seasick, I kind of reckon I can cope with anything.
So put that down as the thing you're fearing. And then the thing you're looking forward to the most about doing this?
All the places we're going to visit, because we visit lots of... It's not a non-stop round the world race, so we go to lots of places. So we're going to Uruguay, South Africa, Australia. I've never been to Australia in my life. 4 stops in Australia, up to China, then America. Amazing. We're going to have great fun. It's just going to be a huge adventure.
John, thank you for sharing the very beginning of this adventure. I know there's more to come over the next year. Thank you for being there this morning. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
All the best. John Vearncombe. And by the way, if you want to help John raise money for the St George Foundation, which helps children in Sierra Leone to get youngsters off the streets, does great work and provides them with shelter, medical care, nutrition advice, etc. You can get in touch. How do you do that, by the way, very quickly?
There's a Just Giving page.
Yeah.
Just look for John Vearncombe or John V. does Clipper on Facebook.
Okay, thank you for that. 12 minutes to 8, so we wish John all the very best. BBC Radio Solent, good morning from me, Julian Clegg.